Charlotte Lawrence, Marnie Barrett. First time in Portugal for everybody. Second, you already visited Lisbon. Eden Theatre on our left side. And French and Italian boutique. But they are not so interesting for us. Please have a look to the pavement. That is wonderful here in Lisbon and in all Portugal. At the end of this Liberty Avenue, we will see the monument to the Marquis of Pombal.
Each countries, but he was born in Vienna, Austria, and as a prince he will be married to some princess. Population didn't know about his private life, so he was seen as a good king because he built a train station connected to so they were seen as a beautiful couple with two kids, Luis Felipe and Manuel. So they intimate the ones that know behind. Renaissance, the time when Portugal had 4 continents before any other country. Of course, Portuguese will be very proud of having 4 continents before. But they didn't tell you the full story. They started kidnapping people in Senegal, in Congo, and Guinea. Portuguese were the ones to start the slavery trading routes, kidnapping people from Africa. How many people? More than 15 million, okay? And this took 434 years to be finished, officially.
10 and go like a 10.
Rebuilt in the same language.
عشان بس
He was also studying star of our break and create whatever power of funny that Spain is over. A silver caravel. Would I recommend you to take a caravel trip? Normal families joining the kings and the queens since the 1280s.
Porozumiem sobie pod całe same łuki, będzie dużo więcej można zobaczyć. Spójrzcie, to naprawdę tam. Pod łuki można zobaczyć miejscowość, takie białe domki tam.
De quoi?
C'est comme les victimes. C'est comme les victimes. Dans le bateau, arc à flèche. Dans les carrément, c'est moi-même qui vois. Et puis, je suis très reconnaissant, tu vois.
Yeah, every day since we got here this big.
I see you've been to Spain already.
Right.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we are in the
Questi poi facciamo il tempo alla farina.
People actually choose the and well, for civil societies, that's why humanity is a state of corresponding to where we should be, where our creation will be more impactful. We will be creating that perfect. Second, will I make it through or I will die here in these wet caves? That's the initiation. Is a death followed by a new life. It's like you're descending to the bottom of the earth, like you're visiting the womb again, and when you get out, the cities that they were considered it was included in Europe was one of these. Something that is not producing anything, like the distance itself, right? The path of hedonism, we could say. From a distance, it's like this.
So this is pretty much the narrative of these caves that we're gonna do during the day. The coral around the window, the cross of the temple. This is again a meaning on the line.
Wait na haroszczy kumam.
But in Portuguese, no, it's something that surprises to the eye, especially visually speaking. It means access between worlds. That's what that place is. So yeah, they will not extract water. It's not a well, even though it's a little bit wet, infiltrated. So don't put your whole feet in the. Much better here in the shadows. Also, you can avoid facing lines because most people will take longer to read. It's an acoustic shell. Also, it's a representation of two monsters, sons of Poseidon, protecting the shell with a small.
This is the perfect place to go.
Like,
Because the price
Яночек еще один. Прикольно.
só solução. Yeah.